Hello everyone, my name is Ash and my pronouns are they. And I have brought you here today with this chaos. um, so we can sort through my various notebooks, sketchbooks, and you name it. As I try to get ready for the new year. All of this was on various places on my desk. Um, some of these are finished, some of these are brand new and technically untouched, besides maybe a pen test page or some stickers. Others have been in use and will continue to be in use. But all of this was living on my desk in various states of being and organization, and we're gonna look through all of it to determine whether it still needs a place on my desk or not, whether it's gonna get filed away in my big box of old journals, and so forth. On this side of my desk, I have a IKEA desk shelf thing that clamps onto the edge of my desk and has two trays that I can fill with various things. So the bottom shelf is mostly pens, inks, and that kind of stuff, but it used to house some of these smaller notebooks as well. And then the top shelf has another pen holder, and used to house most of these larger notebooks. And a couple of these, mostly the finished ones, were on that side over there in a magazine rack type of thing. So I have sort of organized them already in piles. On this pile, we have all of the notebooks and journals and planners and what have you that I used in 2024 for specifically 2024. On this pile, we have various notebooks that are mostly turned into junk-ish journals for like my quick little sketchy things that I want to be able to be very messy with, that don't need to make sense or in a certain order, or I don't care about the pages bleeding through and that kind of stuff. So very quick notes that I don't have a place for elsewhere go in something like this. And a similar thing has been going on in this one with like testing stamps that I made or scribbling my pens to see if they are working properly, if the shape I wanted to do actually is what I wanted it to be, that kind of stuff. I noticed this one should actually be on this pile. And then these are more filing type of journals. I don't really use these a whole lot. I mean, I started using this one a bit more recently because I got these ink swatch sheets from Werengle and started doing my ink swatches per color that way. And then the rest is just old bullet journal tracker things and overviews, and here and there some other note thingies while I'm figuring things out. But the nice thing is I can easily take out pages from here and put new pages back in. So this is more a figure it out, brainstorm, and swatch book currently. My cat is being annoying. And then this one is a tabletop RPG notebook. So there's some notes on games I've run myself, games I play in, some solo game and character creation stuff, some other games that I play in that are on hold. So that goes in this one, which I currently don't really use a whole lot, because I also started using my Kindle Scribe for making my handwritten tip-top notes, because it's easier to move things around or erase things, that kind of thing. So I'm not really sure if I want to keep using this for my TTRPG notes, if I will be doing it, maybe copying over or printing out some of the ones that I did digitally. I'm uncertain about all of that stuff, but that's what this was, and I've not repurposed it for anything yet. So yeah, it's a nice notebook though. These are both Filofax notebooks, and if you want a system that is very flexible, and these notebooks are kind of cheap-ish for Filofax, because I believe these were in the 20-ish range, and then you can technically refill it with whatever paper you want, or buy their refill packs, which I don't think are super expensive, but your opinion might be different from mine. Anyway, these are in this pile of, I use them, but they don't really have a specific purpose, are kind of messy maybe, and yeah, because same thing with this is a pocket journal that I don't really use, and currently just houses some various bits and bobs as I figure things out. But I do kind of like this X17 pocket journal, so maybe I'll repurpose it for something else. And then this one is another Filofax that I painted over, and might paint over again, that currently houses all of my stamps in an interesting way, and then has some reference cheat sheets for tarot and playing card readings and that kind of stuff. So this is like the odd notebook collection, kind of. And then these are more purposeful notebooks. So I accidentally put this one in that pile because this is a similar paper as that one, and it's not exactly great, but I have mostly been using this as my junk journal for planning my role-playing game that I run, which I have another one. This is a Hobonichi notebook, which has more defined lore notes and things that I come up with, or items that I invent. So these are my role-playing game dedicated notebooks. These are my ink swatch and pen swatch books, another Hobonichi notebook, and a Midori notebook in a Galen Leather Slim cover in a size B6. That's what that is. This is a kind of new one that I started. It's a Galen Leather cover again, the Slim B6, with a Everydaybook that I use as a spiritual journal, and these stickers keep coming off, and I need to stick them back in properly. But I started this kind of recently, and I like it, and I will continue to use it, which is why these stickers are now on it. And initially I thought I would put it in a notebook system for 2025 video, and then never made or finished that video, and just started using it. So there have been like 5 entries or something, so it's pretty new still, but not technically entirely new. Or not entirely a 2025 thing, but that's what that is. Now we have my old sketchbook that I still haven't finished, even though there's barely any pages left. So what I might be tempted to do is print out some of the digital art I made this year, because that would be roughly 30 pages, maybe a little bit less, that I haven't used, and then it's full, and I kind of don't want to keep using this one, So I might do that with it. So I have all of my art of the last 3-4 years in one place, and then I can just file this away and start a new one, instead of looking at this notebook and keep thinking, I should really finish this sometime, and I haven't touched it in forever, and it now kind of feels like a shame pile whenever I look at this in my notebook collection. So, but that's a very specific purpose type thing, a sketchbook. This is my old bullet journal that you might recognize if you've seen my other videos. It used to be my bullet journal from 2019 till 2022, I want to say. And then I repurposed the back section from 2022 onwards to contain all of my thoughts, feelings, and experiences related to figuring out my gender identity and transition and all of that stuff. Because if you don't know yet, I am transmasculine, non-binary, and in the last 2 years I have been doing a lot of medical transitioning after getting diagnosed. So this has a lot of my thoughts on whether I wanted to go through things, or what is right for me, what isn't, and how that fits into how I want to live my life, basically. And it's not finished yet. I still have a decent amount of pages left, like under 50 pages. It might be less, I'm not entirely sure. Oh yes, it is definitely less. Hold on. Let's say roughly 35-ish pages left. So I will just continue using this for that purpose until it's filled up, and I don't think I will need a notebook for that purpose afterwards, but we'll see what happens when I reach that point and how I feel about it then. But that's how I've been repurposing this notebook, and when it's full, I will be updating this label to better reflect what's inside of this, because this is not really entirely accurate. And then I will also label the side here, but this one will be continued to be used. That doesn't really fit into my system technically. It's like a separate thing, but it's a very dedicated journal nonetheless. So that's my more specific dedicated journals. This is my 2025 pile, of which one I have been using kind of ish already, and I want to say all but one have either done a pen test or some planning maybe already, but they've all been allocated a specific purpose and use and what have you. So that's what we're going to be looking at last. This stuff I will definitely be using and will want to have on my desk. So I'm going to put that back for now so we have less clutter. I will be taking out my sketchbook and put it on a action pile, which I'm going to have on the side here underneath my pen pouch. So out of these two are my chunky journals, so these will also be continued to be used, and I like having them at my desk. So I'm also putting these with the rest. And this is more the mystery use, where shall I store it, and I don't need to have it within reach all the time. I can have a little bit more, how to say it, effort behind getting these out. So I will put these in my magazine rack for now. So we have, again, more space for other things. So we're gonna look at this last, of course. My current year pile. Some of these are in active use still and will be carried over to the next year. Other things have been kind of abandoned or finished up, and we'll figure that out as we go. On the top, we have my Traveler's Notebook, passport size, which has a plastic zipper wallet insert that holds my book stickers, a dot grid notebook from Paper Test Designs that I used as like a daily log bullet journal type thing. This one can go in here before I lose it. So that's almost finished now. Just a few pages left. So we'll see if I replace it now or write anything in it till the end. But I have another one of these ready to go for the new year. Another wallet insert that holds my cards and what have you. And then we have a grid notebook, also by Paper Test Designs in Germany, with these have Tome River paper in it, the Sanson Tome River paper. And I've been using this as a mini weeks layout with notes type thing, as well as a reading tracker thing and a list collection type thing. So this one, I've been debating how I'm gonna use this now, because I can probably fit at least January in here still. But the question is, do I want that? Because I can probably fit a whole year in one of these. And I will not be doing this in here again for next year, so we'll have to think about that. But besides those notebooks and how I'm going to transfer them to the new year or not, or archive them, is besides the point. I will continue to use this system because I carry this on my person pretty much wherever I go, and it's been very helpful with my ADHD and autism to both keep track of what is going on, what's important, relevant, things I want to keep an eye on, especially with my medication use, because I'm still figuring out what medication works well for me and what have you. So this has been very helpful with that, and I will be continuing using this pretty much almost the same way, besides maybe removing a few things that are going to be in different things. So I'm putting this on a future pile because it's going to be used in the future as well. This is my book reviews of 2024, the collected summaries, and it just holds all of the books I read this year with small, quick review. I still have to update the last couple of them, and I think after that I will be writing in here some observations or thoughts on my reading before I archive this with the other ones that are in here. But this was very fun. At the same time, I didn't like having this in a tiny notebook while also doing reading tracking in 2 or 3 other notebooks. So this will not be recreated this way in the next year. We have a dedicated thing for that, so this is gonna get filed away. This is a Hobonichi Han, which I started as a creativity journal, where I hoped to use it as like a daily drawing type thing. You see, like so, like making a tiny doodle per day or each day in the monthly overview, and then I didn't do that from halfway February onwards. But it was fun, and here I have some creative writing things, which I also didn't follow through on, and some ink related things. So what I think I will be doing is continuing using this as just a quick creative writing journal thing, but I will no longer be doing that exactly at the first of the day that it actually is at the moment, and just start wherever the first page is to start. And then fill it up that way. So it will be continued to be used for a specific purpose, but not as a planner type thing. So it's kind of that in-between state. This is where I currently have my Hobonichi Weeks, which I have been continuing using semi-regularly, in the sense that I kept tracking my reading throughout the year on this page, and then I haven't used the week pages since August about. But I really enjoyed using it in one way and not really in another, and that's how I solved it with the Traveler's Notebook. And I just have some note pages left that I kind of want to continue using, because I would hate for this to go to waste. But the exact way how I'm gonna do that, I haven't determined yet. Currently it's serving as a reading journal type brainstorm thing. So this goes on the not specific use but continued use pile. This is a Roterfan Taschenbegleiter cover that I've been using this year to house my companion journal, of which I needed 2 this year. We had number 1, which was January till June, and then this one, which is July till December, which is pretty much finished. I have a few pages left to catch up my last thoughts and days in here before I move on to the new thing. I will be continuing using something like this in a new year, but with some things separated in other places and some things done slightly different, but with the same idea in mind, which is that this is a catch-all for all long format writing that I want to do. That, as I said, is not a specific theme that I have separated out for next year. We'll get into that. But that's currently how it's been used, and it's been mostly reading logs and some month overview pages where I do my habits in review, and I also did my reading reflection stuff, but I'm not sure if I will continue doing that in here or not. That's kind of the in-between type of thing. But these are going to be archived when I'm done with the last one in my box of old journals. And then we have my Blue Book of Morning Pages journal. This one is currently in use. I have been using it a little bit, which, hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say, I've not been using it that much, but I have reached a point where I can start doing the reviews in here, so I shall be keeping these around to finish doing the morning page reviews. And then this one, I'm not even halfway through using it, but I will continue using it for this purpose until it's full and then go to a next journal. So that one is technically going on this pile. And then this is the old one that I finished earlier in the year. Finished it in October, but I started in September because I have not been using it daily as intended. But that's fine. So this one will be kept on my desk with the other notebooks that I said I can take a little bit more effort to take them out. And then once I'm done reviewing these pages, it will also get filed away with my full notebooks. So I'm putting that with the other 2. So this is technically my pile of action and then filing. And then I have an empty cover which I've not fully decided if I will be using that cover next year for which one exactly. But we'll figure that out. I'm gonna put the other ones up here for now. Do have some more space. I'll put this one here. So, for the next year, we will continue using the morning pages and Traverse notebook. And we have this little pile here, of which some of these are new, entirely new, and some of them are older systems that I will be continuing using. This will be my new companion journal, which is another paper test designs notebook, a grid notebook that has Tomoe River paper in it. I've already done stickers on it. I've not done my reflections, or not my reflections, my intentions page yet. I selected some tabs for this journal if I want to use those. I've not yet decided if that's something I want or not, but if I do, I will be using these ones because I think they match nicely with this cover. And I added a Muji bookmark sticker to it, so I have some ribbons in here because it doesn't originally have ribbons. So this will be continued to be used as my daily long form journal catch-all, as a companion, as I call it. So it's kind of a continued use in a new journal. Then I got these stickers of Aliexpress because I like them, and I think I will be using them for my companion journal, just because I can. So that's going in this file, but it's like a new thing, so I have it in here. So that's that. Let me think how I'm going to be doing this. So one thing I separated out is my reading journal. The other thing I separated out is my spiritual journaling, but I've already shown it to you and it's already on that shelf. And then I technically have another thing I separated out, but I haven't started yet, which is my divination study journal, which is going to be in here, but we'll look at that in a second. I got an Archer and Olive Traveler's Notebook sized journal to function as my reading journal for the next year, and I have been doing some work to plan out this notebook. In fact, I have an index planned, intention page, a good start, journal layouts I want to use, my goals for the next year, reading goals, a reading challenge that I came up with for myself, which I have also made on Storygraph, so if you want to do that, you can do it with me. I'll link it below. You don't have to, it's just something I thought was fun, and it came out to correspond to 25 and 25 for a bingo layout. I don't have it as a bingo layout because I don't really like the way that tracks on the page, but that's basically what it is. Then I have a 12 classics of 25 that I want to read, a series tracker that I planned, a format and genre tracker, my library checkout list, daily reading challenge tracker, some 25 in statistics trackers, and then we have monthly overviews where I want to track what I'm reading and whether I finished something or not, my goals for the month, that kind of stuff. So I have pre-planned these for specific pages, and then it's going to be used as a book review type journal. With, in the back, I have some pen test pages, a habit and journal reflection for the end of the next year, and then some series tracker pages as well. To figure out what I wanted in here, I have been doing basically this for all of my various journals, and before allocating them to a specific journal, I'll make a separate video about that because it's going to be too much to talk about here, but that's how I've planned out my reading journal for the next year, which I think, since that starts tomorrow, and I still have to actually set up proper the first few pages for use, this is gonna go on the action pile. So that's that. I will be using this box for something else, to store something that I will need in the new year, so it's quite a nice box actually. Then we have, as I said, these are entirely new things for me, but this one is not technically. This is my Divination Studies journal. I've started my intentions page, but not finished it, and I really like how this ink looks on this paper. Good gods. This is Astrology B6 size, and I also put a emoji bookmark thing in here, put stickers on it, but I've not really been using this yet. So I've just been keeping it in this little notebook sleeve that the Galen Leather Everydaybook came in, because it's actually quite a nice little box kind of thing. So I kind of like it for that. And since the other one is more like a diary journal kind of thing, and this one is more an intentional study book, I don't mind this being not in a cover necessarily, and the other one is more in a quick to open type of notebook. So this is a entirely new one or not entirely new one. I've not been formally studying this on paper the way I intend to do it here, but I have been sort of doing that in various notebooks elsewhere. So semi-new, but not really new. And then we have 3 notebooks, journals, planners that are new to me for the new year. I want to start with this one because I have already been using it because it started in December, and I've sticker tapped it and everything. This is a vertical weekly planner, which I plan to use as like a time overview type thing, so I can visually see how much time on my day is used up to specific things, and then backfill how I use my day, so I have a better idea of how I actually spend my time, because I'm very time blind, and it's sometimes very hard to gauge how much time I spend on specific things. So I've been sort of using it already, but not very consistently, and not a lot, so it's pretty new to me, but interesting, and I don't really mind if this is not going to work out for me, but I think it's a valuable thing to have and try out for my own reference. See how this works for me, and if it doesn't, then I know that, and I don't ever have to get another one like this ever again. But this is a Muji vertical weekly planner, and if you want to know, this is actually fountain pen friendly paper. All of these and the last 2 here are all fountain pens, and none of them bled through, so good option if you're a fountain pen user and want a planner. They also have a A6 sized, not sure if they also have it. This one is a B6. I don't believe they had their undated weekly planner that has more the Hobonichi Weeks layout. If they have that in this size, I don't believe so. So I got the A6 version of that to try and see what the paper was like. So I have 2 undated planners that I can switch to if I want a planner and don't want to waste paper, so I can just fill in the dates that I do use it. But that's what this one is. Very nice little notebook planner thing. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check out the Muji planners because they're fan friendly and feel kind of nice. They also all come with a plastic cover like this, in case that is something you like to have. You don't have to buy it separately, and they're under 15 bucks, depending on what size and version you get. That's bucks in euros, by the way. I believe this one was like 13 euro. And then we have these two, which are both a per day use that I haven't done yet. This one is a one sketch a day journal. No, it says visual journal, which is why it's in this pile. Because I want to try and get myself to draw something on a daily basis. And it has just a small section per day to draw. So I think this will help me in the sense that this is a specific, dedicated journal. It's new and shiny, and at the end of the year, if I use it for a year, it will have a congratulations page, which is probably going to be very fun to reach. And since it's only half a page, it's, I hope, less daunting to use, but we'll see how that actually pans out. Yeah, I want to draw more. I'm an artist who doesn't draw a lot anymore, so that's an issue in my book. But I don't want to have too much pressure to get back into it, but also stimulate myself to get back into it at the same time. So that's why I picked up this one. We'll see how that's going to be in use. And then I got this 5-year memory book, which is a 1 line a day type of notebook, which has every day of the year. They're so busy with fireworks in the street, it's really annoying. Sorry about that. If it's distracting you, it's distracting me. This notebook has every day of the year on a separate page, and then 5 sections below it, so you can write down what year it is, and then whatever you want to track in here over the course of 5 years. I could start it today, but I'm not going to. I'm going to start it tomorrow. And I planned to use this as a big life events and gratitude journal. And maybe I'll also note down the weather of the day, either in a symbol or anything noteworthy, so I can see what the weather was like over a couple of years' time, which I believe is something my grandfather used to do in his journals when he was still alive, living on a farm. So I thought it was funny to add in here as a little thinking of my grandfather. So that's what this is, and the gratitude stuff is because my therapist told me that that might be a good thing to start doing, and I was reluctant to start doing that, and now I'm forcing myself to do it because maybe it will make me a slightly bit less pessimistic, even though I like to think that I'm a realist. I can sometimes forget to look at certain good aspects of things. I did a pen test in the back here, which is why I put these stickers, these note things on top of it, to hide the bleed through of the pen test on the other side. But I do like the idea of writing down dates that I want to remember, so that's what this is. But I tested out various pens, including fountain pens, and I am sad to say that this book is not fountain pen friendly. More in the sense that not everything bled through, but the ones that didn't felt like the paper was resisting the ink, so that's also not very convenient, you know. And it didn't really feather either, so that was kind of a shame. So I will be using this with either a ballpoint pen or a what do you call it, gel pen, because I have a couple of Zebra Rosa gel pens that I don't really use, so I might as well use them in here. So that's what I plan to use for that, but I might change my mind and then start using a ballpoint pen in here instead, because I'm thinking of getting a one of those 3-in-1 pens that has 2 ballpoints in different colors and then a mechanical pencil as well. I've been thinking of getting one of those for my sketching, just to have everything in one place and not have to switch and pick up and all that stuff, and just have everything in one pen for the few times that I need it, which isn't a lot. But that's what this is, and initially I thought it would be bigger, but I'm kind of glad that it isn't, because that makes making a daily entry less daunting if I don't know what to write down. And this fits very nicely just on my desk anywhere, because it's small, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it looks nice. So this will be in use for the next 5 years, I hope. There is a possibility I will abandon it. If I do, that would be unfortunate, but this wasn't like $50 or anything. In fact, I believe I paid 20, if not less. So I think I'll get my worth out of it, and if not, I tried and we'll see. But those are the entirely new things alongside of... Alright, I'm putting this one back on this pile. Technically, it's not entirely new. So this is my little pile of journals that I will be using in the new year on, I think, almost a daily basis. It might actually end up being more a thing of this being my daily use pile, and then this being my as needed relevant type pile, because I will be tracking some things in here, but I've already set it up in such a way that it is not a I have to touch this daily type thing, and I can write down what pages I read or books I'm reading, or if I read that day at all, in my daily logs in the Traveler's notebook, for example, so I don't have to do that necessarily in here, and I can just backfill it whenever it's relevant. So that's why this is on the as needed pile. Same thing with, actually, since it's not here right now, these two, the spiritual and gender journal. So I think it will actually come down to these being a once a month, maybe more, maybe less type of deal. I might have times where I use this much more than others, and then this being my definitely a monthly thing, if not more, certainly not less, and this being my more daily activity, or try to do daily activity type thing. So that would mean in total I have, if we count this as one and not two notebooks, even though there's technically two notebooks in there, 10 notebooks slash sketchbooks in total, of which I'm using 6 daily and 4 infrequently as needed. I think that's not too bad, especially since I will only be traveling with this one. These will live on my desk. This will depend how I continue using it, but will probably also live on the desk. This one I might travel with, depending on what I'm going to be doing. but it will definitely have a daily use. It is not on my desk, or is at my desk. It's gonna be used. I might actually be taking this with me when I go to the library, that kind of stuff. And then this will also be always in the house, at least. Exceptions being if I go to the library very early in the day as my first thing that I do, and then do my morning pages there, but I doubt it. So these are my 4 daily in the house at the desk type things. And then these will be my daily drivers wherever I go. And these will also be at the desk for when I need them. So I think that's a very manageable pile of things, in my opinion. So these will get filed on there as well. This will probably just live on the desk permanently, and I might want these within reach, where I can see them and grab them real quick whenever I want to actually sit down and use them. So it might happen somewhere here or also up there, but in a more favorable position. So yeah, that's all of my notebooks for the current year, the new year, and anything in between and beyond. Yeah, it's very exciting. At least it's exciting to me personally. So one last thing that I think I'll want to share with you is, what am I going to pick for that? I guess I will take out this one again, even though I didn't completely finish writing it on here. But it has less personal stuff in here, so I'm not as hesitant to share it with you. So, one thing I do for all of my long form journals, so all journals that are not very clear instantly what I want to use them for, or what their purpose is, or it's kind of vague, I like to write a intention page. No, I apparently messed up while writing that. Actually, I remember this. I was writing, and for some reason my pen started leaking as I was writing and got a whole blob of ink on the page there. Didn't bleed through though, so that's good. Thank you, Stology. But one thing that I like to do is start the very first page, because that's, for me, that's always the kind of, what am I going to put here? Am I just going to start on the very first page? Am I going to skip it? Why would I skip it? How do I feel about skipping it? You know? And then I always do my pen test in the back of the notebook, like here, to see how my pens and inks perform. And then I'll do that going back to front. And I could have used this as like an index page, perhaps, but these pages are not numbered, so then I would have to do that myself. I'm not really feeling doing that myself. Not for this one at least. But I have done it in the Archer and Olive one, so sometimes I do decide to do that. And then just write down at the start of using it, this is what I intended to use it for, and not necessarily the specific way of using. But for example, this one I wrote down to remind myself of my intention for this journal. Down the line, let this page of intent inform of my desired use of this particular journal, both so I may maintain using it for that purpose, as well as keep the intent alive should I wish to make any changes to how I use it for its purpose. This is a guideline or inspiration for future use of the journal. So in short, my intention for this one is that it is a divination study journal. What that means, how I do that, is up for me in a moment to decide, but that is the intended use for it. So as long as it is to study divination things, then it's all good. Now I might have specific wishes for how or what I want to get out of this study, or that kind of stuff, and then I might specify that in here further, so that down the line, if I forget how I was using it because I haven't touched it in a while, I can refer back to this and see, oh, I wanted to get this out of it, so when I start it up again or want to do it differently, I can keep that in mind. Or I can decide that that is no longer what I want to do and how I want to move forward with it, and then maybe write down why I stopped doing it that way. So that's what this is, and I like putting ink on the edges, either the top and bottom or the entire edge or just this side, to show myself that it is a like a reference page, I want to say. Something that is important to refer back to at any given point in time. But that's about the extent that I have written it down in here. I did completely write that out in the spiritual journal, but again, that's a bit more personal stuff. So I don't know if I want to show that to you right now. But now you have an idea of what I meant when I say that. And I will also be doing that in the reading journal, because I am separating that out from my companion journal. And I feel like that is an extra reason that I have to specify what the intention is of the new journal, so that I make sure that I am actually getting out of something what I hope to get out of it. And then reflect afterwards on if my intent aligned with my use, whether my intent was actually accurate or not, or with my desire. And it's just a nice thing for myself. It's not usually a page that I refer back to often, but if I need it, it's there. And if, let's say, I wanted to read back my old journals years from now, I can read that page and then instantly know, oh, that's what I wanted to get out of this journal. So maybe that's something you also do or would like to start doing. I still have to write it for my new companion, for which I tend to also include my chosen word of the year and color of the year. And I have decided that 2025 is going to be green, hence why I picked the green tabs. So that's what that is about. Just an extra little thing that I tend to do. Yeah. Something else that you might find interesting to know is that whenever I have pages like this that I haven't fully decided what I want to do with them yet, but have ideas, I tend to either put a sticky note or write in pencil my ideas, if it's not that elaborate. So for 2024, I used a spread like this to track my pages read per day. I will not be doing that in here. Instead, I have decided that I want to keep track of how many hours I sleep per day, and have that in one overview. So that's gonna be going there. And this one, by the way, does not have a whole lot of note pages. It has a couple, but I don't think I will need a lot of those. I think that's pretty much it for all of these notebooks. So I'm going to be putting these in a nice order on these shelves, my desk area space, so that it might be a little bit less overwhelming and more functional, practical, which also will probably mean I have to sort out my pen holders with pens that I actually use or my want to have in reach instead of just having my pens in there taking up space where it could be more useful to me. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if I will be using this one next year, because these are all softcover notebooks, and I did that intentionally. But I am a little bit worried that the covers are going to get damaged or what have you if I put them in these hooks. So I have debated which one I should be putting in this slim cover, or if I should put a different, if I should get another one of these or not, and I'm not sure if I will get another one of these, but it's not ideal if I want to have several things in one place. So currently I'm thinking that I will keep these two in here with the stickers, because I can just slip them in here, or depending on how I can store this more conveniently, because it's slightly too big to fit in the back pocket, I might trim them or fold them or what have you, so they do fit in there, and then I can just either stick one of the hooks in the back here, which is actually possible with this one. So I have done that in the past with my life term that I was using this year, and the Hobonichi Weeks. And the nice thing about that is, because these hooks can turn, so can a notebook. And it's just more a question on if it's functional that way with the other one or not, and what have you. But that's one thing that you can do that I like to do sometimes. It's also depending on how much space I have in the back, and I might not actually have enough space to do that in a way that is useful to me. But I think having these both in the same cover could be convenient, not because I need this one constantly, but especially at the start when this one is being used new, it's not going to have as many pages behind it, and this might add some extra cushioning for using it with. So maybe I will be using it, or just for one of them, or both of them, or something else. Undecided. I do kind of like it, but I'm mostly wondering if my notebooks will hold up or not. The other thing I had considered was using it for both my divination study and spiritual journaling, but I don't think it's as convenient to have both of those in here for some reason. So we'll see. We'll see what I do. Maybe, as I said, I will just be using it for one thing and then add a folder thing that I can easily stick something into while I'm on the go, for example. Who knows? I will find a use for it somehow, because it is a nice cover, and I would hate for it to not be used at all, but I want it to be practical first and foremost. So I'm going to be brainstorming on that and filling out the pages that still need some form of action. This one does not. These do. This one also does not, so that can get stored away. These are technically in use. So that's gonna be it for this video. I think I will be filming working on my reading journal, making the pages and whatnot, so if you want to see that, you can look out for that video. And other than that, I hope you had a good holiday season, and will have a very good start of 2025. And if not, I hope things get better for you, and you have a whole year ahead of you to work on things that matter to you, and all you have to compare yourself to is the person you were the day before. So if your goal is to become a better you, all you have to compare yourself to is the person you were before. So with that said, I hope you have a good time, a good day, a good year, a good whatever, and I'll see you in the next video. So bye.